Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to talk about something that's a huge deal in platform engineering right now, how large language models, or LLMs, are about to completely change the game for internal developer portals. So let me ask you something. Your internal developer portal, is it actually a roadmap that helps you get where you're going? Or is it more of a roadblock, a frustrating maze of dead links and super confusing documents? If you're like most people, it's probably the second one. And that is exactly what we're tackling today. All right, let's set the scene. For so many developers, daily life feels like you're stuck in this multi-cloud maze. It's this incredibly complex, tangled web of different services, rules, and platforms. And honestly, it can make even the simplest tasks feel like this huge uphill battle. And I bet these pain points on screen look pretty familiar, right? We have all been there. You're hunting for the right documentation in some ancient wiki. You're trying to decipher a ridiculously long compliance policy that feels like it was written in another language. Or you're just trying to figure out the one approved way to set up a new service. It is such a waste of time and energy that we should be pouring into what we actually love to do, building awesome software. Okay, to make this all feel a bit more real, let's actually walk through a day in the life of a developer. We're going to follow a quick story of someone trying to find their way through this exact maze. So let's meet Maya. She's our hero for this story, a sharp senior engineer who's been given a pretty standard but really important task. So what's her mission? Simple enough on the surface: deploy a new compliant microservice. But here's the catch. It's not just about spinning up some code. It's got to be secure, it has to be compliant, and it needs to play nice with her company's super complex multi-cloud environment. Now, the old way of doing this, we're talking days of digging through docs, endless meetings, a real slog. But Maya has a secret weapon. And this right here is the game changer. Her company's developer portal is no longer just some static website, a glorified bookmark collection. Nope, it's now an active copilot, an interactive assistant that she can just talk to. So Maya kicks things off with a simple, plain English question. Think about that for a second. No more fumbling with keywords in a search bar. No more guessing which of the 10 documents is the actually current one. She just asks. And boom, look at that answer. It's instant, it's crystal clear, and it points her straight to what's called a golden path. That's basically the pre-approved best practice way to do things. And this is so important. It's not just a link to a doc. It's a validated solution that already has all the important stuff like authentication and security baked right in. But Maya's not done. This is where it gets really cool. She doesn't just take the info and run. She asks the portal to do something for her, to actually generate the code. This is that huge shift we were talking about, from a passive library to an active partner. And just like that, there it is. The portal spits out the starter Terraform config she needs. I mean, just imagine the hours, maybe even days saved right there. All that tedious boilerplate, the manual setup, the silly typos that can burn hours of debugging, it's just gone. She has a solid, compliant starting point in literally seconds. Okay, so before she moves on, Maya does one last super important check. She needs to ask about compliance. And this is one of those areas where you cannot afford to be wrong, right? Getting data residency rules wrong can be a massive problem. So she needs to know the exact policy for handling EU customer data. And the answer she gets back is just perfect. It takes this complex legal policy and just boils it down into simple, easy to understand bullet points. But the real magic is that last line. The starter config is already compliant. Wow. That right there is instant confidence. She knows without a doubt that she's starting from a good place, that she's not going to get blocked in a security review later on. She can just build. So let's just step back and look at what just happened. Her new workflow is ridiculously simple. What used to be a long, painful process of hunting, reading, and guessing is now just 3 steps. Ask, generate, clarify. That's not just an improvement, that is a total transformation of the developer experience. Now, Maya's story is great, but it's not just about her, right? This represents a massive shift for entire engineering organizations. So let's zoom out a bit and talk about the bigger picture here. The move from constant friction to a state of, effortless flow. I mean, just look at the difference. The before is hours spent digging through docs. The after is getting an answer in seconds. Before, it was painful trial and error to get your config right. Now it's instant, compliant starter code. We are literally swapping out vague, confusing policies for crystal clear explanations. And instead of getting blocked by reviews, developers have the confidence to move fast. So, where is this all heading? What does this mean for the future of platform engineering? Well, it's not an exaggeration to say we're talking about a genuine paradigm shift. We're rethinking what an internal platform is even for. It really forces us to update our definition of a developer portal. The old definition, it's a static library, a digital bookshelf. The new definition, it's an interactive, intelligent assistant that actually helps you build faster. It's not just a place that has the knowledge, it's a tool that uses that knowledge to help you get work done. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What could your teams build if all that friction, all that complexity just disappeared? When you give your developers tools that give them answers and code in seconds, what new possibilities open up? What amazing things are they going to create next? Really makes you think, doesn't it? Thanks for joining.